Next on AM 1480 WLEA, the Newsmaker Show. Here's Ryan O'Neill.
Glad to have back with us Ithaca Democrat candidate for Congress against Congressman Tom Reid, Ian Golden. Ian Golden, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Brian, it's good to be on with you again. Thanks.
Well, how did things go at the recent Democrat Congressional Candidates Forum that they had over at the high school, Genesee High School in Allegheny County?
It was good. We had a back-to-back. We actually had a debate-style format on the night prior in Mayville, out in Chautauqua County, and then following we had the forum in Belmont. The Chautauqua County one was more of a traditional format where you get a just a minute or two response and debate style, and then the forum in Belmont, I really like the format. You got about 15 minutes to dig deeper into each of the topic areas, and you rotate through circles, and it was great. There was a good turnout. I don't know how many people were there, maybe 100 or so, and I really enjoyed digging in.
What was the key moment for you at the Genesee Valley High School there?
I don't know if there's necessarily a key moment. We had 5 different topic areas, and range from, we talked a bit about farming, we talked a bit about the environment, some about young people's issues, economy, healthcare. So each one was really, I think, a defining issue for a lot of people in this district. And so I don't know if there's necessarily one key moment or issue, aside from just really engaging with some concerned individuals.
Sure thing. You stress in your campaign that you understand small business and local businesses because of your business background. Refresh our memories on what you do for a living and the different businesses that you've been involved with.
Yeah, I have 2 small retail stores. I have one in Ithaca, I have one in the Hudson Valley, I had one in Binghamton, which I sold, and then I have an event company where I put on running races. So it's retail and focused on running shoes and apparel, and just really being a community partner and trying to bring people in and create economic opportunities as well as opportunities for wellness. So that's my focus.
Now, coining Republican Congressman Tom Reid, he was in the news late last week for moving up in the bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus. Did you have any thoughts on the Problem Solvers Caucus that Congressman Reid belongs to?
You know, I hear a lot about the Problem Solvers Caucus, and there's a lot of problems out there, and I'm still at a relative loss on what I think problems they're solving. I think there's a lot of press in it. I think the members, and I don't know them all. My vantage point is seeing what Representative Reid does with it. I think he came in on a Tea Party wave in 2009, and I think it's been shifting the winds to be more of a centrist through this Problem Solvers bid. And I know there's a lot of talk behind it, and I've seen some of the work that came out. They have I think a decent framework for an infrastructure package that they at least put out a document on this past, I think it was the end of maybe last year, maybe the beginning of this year, and it was pretty decent. But I hear him really talking nothing, I think, about it, and beyond talking, I mean, what are they actually doing with it? Is it resulting in legislation? Is it resulting in budgetary decisions? What's really happening? I think what's mostly happening is he gets to get on with some national news outlets weekly and says this is a bipartisan coalition that's really coming together and working together. And I think it's really playing on the discontent that most Americans have for politics and politicians at this point. And people are tired and fed up with either party not working with the other one and just obstructing the other one, and it's just a mess. And so I think that you see individuals, I think like Representative Reid, playing on that, but actually doing little about it.
We're talking with Ian Golden, the one of the Democrat candidates running for Congress. Reading from Ithaca.com, it says here, Golden says, no matter who wins, in the Democrat primary. He would hope all the contenders would come together and support the Democrat side to produce a much larger and more powerful body in the general election. Ian, your thoughts on how things will go, and how is your campaign coming so far?
Things coming pretty well. I mean, as you know, Brian, all of us as candidates are running for elected office for the first time. So coming from, I think, wherever we were as individuals, and for me as the business sector and just being a community member, to a year later in a congressional campaign, I think it's coming pretty well. We've got a good number of supporters throughout the district. I think we're considered in the top 2 as candidates, depending on where we're at in the district. We needed 1,200 signatures on the ballot. We got 3,000. We've got a lot of committed individuals, and we'll just see how many doors we can knock on over the next month. So I think by most metrics, we're doing pretty well. I think Representative Reid is concerned, and I'm hoping that's really pushing him to be a better representative.
Ian Golden, I noticed that they have not done this in the recent races, but the Democrats who used to run against Congressman Tom Reid, and I'm thinking now, Congressman Eric Massa when he was running, and I think Democrat Matt Zeller, and I think Nate Shinagawa did them too. They used to do weekly press calls with the reporters, just like Congressman Reid did. They have not done any of those at this point. Do you think that they'll start those up after the primary, possibly?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that would be great. I did listen to one of Representative Reid's calls a week or 2 ago. I was meeting with some Steuben County dairy farmers, which, as you know, are in a really, really hard spot and have been for years. And one of them cued me into listening to one of Reid's weekly calls. And I think the little insight he had into, or does have into, what's going on the ground with dairy farmers. And so he cued me into that call. And so I think that was the first time I listened to it, and I think it was great. I heard, I think, reporters, you may have been one of the ones that was checking in and asking a question from across the district, and I would love to play into that format.
Yes, that's something that they do, and maybe that it's the case that they haven't done that lately because there are so many candidates in the running against Congressman Tom Reid. You brought up the dairy farmers' plight. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is calling on Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue to bypass legislation and just go right ahead and get a lot of I think it was, what was it, the $320 million they had right away to the dairy farmers in New York State because of the tough times that dairy farmers have been having because of the milk prices at the moment. Your thoughts on Senator Gillibrand's efforts there?
Yeah, she seems to genuinely at least be plugging in and trying to make a difference. I think the stat one dairy friend just sent me a couple days ago was, I think, 121 dairy farms have gone from the start of this year through May 1st. He sent me a message that he was going to potentially have to sell off or try to sell off at the loss his own head of cow here coming up, and it's bad. And so Senator Gillibrand has at least stabbed at some potential solutions. She looked at the milk price protection program and whether she could return the excess funds back to the dairy farmers as opposed to the Treasury. She introduced a bill to institute a price floor, and I think trying. So I think a price floor sounds, I think, something that is needed. But I think it's going to take deeper discussion and bringing more of the farmers to the table of all levels, not just the big ones, but making sure we're getting a lot of the small farmers in the mix as well. And I've had ongoing dialogue with farmers here in New York. I've been connected with some in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and a couple in Canada on various Facebook threads, and it's a pretty deep problem. And me being a small business owner, I think that there are parallels and associations. When we're looking at just continual increased consolidation of markets and monopoly entities, and really us as little guys and gals who are owning businesses are really having hard times, and it doesn't seem like there's anybody fighting for the little guy. And if we just go the way of just monster monopoly corporate control of all of our sectors, including dairy, then we're really having our communities in identity and commerce gutted. And so I really want to see somebody fight for the little guys. And so I think Senator Gillibrand is trying to do that, and we'll see where it goes.
Another big issue, Democrat Ian Golden, our guest today on Newsmaker. He's one of the candidates hoping to win the Democrat primary, which is coming up June 26th. And Ian Golden is one of the Democrats who will be on the ballot that day, running against Congressman Tom Reid. One of the big other issues, Ian, as you know, is the heroin opioid problem, which is a nationwide problem, but also a big problem in New York State. Your thoughts on that issue?
Yeah, that it's hitting communities across the country, throughout our district, everywhere. It's sparing no, I think, demographics, income sectors. Literally everybody knows somebody who's being impacted at some level. And multifactorial. I think it's the pharmaceutical companies and that have really been manufacturing and putting out the drugs have known that of the addictive properties and underselling them. Market was flooded in an unnecessary way. Lack of, I think, patient and physician education on the ramifications, and those that are really putting it out there and creating a situation do need to be held accountable. And I think we need to look at it as a long-term problem that really needs addressing. And I don't think Representative Reid's tack on it is that you prosecute the network. And I think there's something to that, but it's very much just a piece of the equation. If you're not really focused on long-term rehabilitation and treating it as the illness that it is, and allowing whether it be municipalities or states to have the capacity to seek reparations from pharmaceutical companies, then it's going to be tough to get somewhere. So I'm hopeful that that's going to happen. It would sure help to have a representative who's willing to fight for our communities and individuals, not just see it as again, something we can prosecute our way out of.
We're talking with Tompkins County Democrat Ian Golden, who's running for Congress against Congressman Tom Reid. Going to take a quick break, check the weather. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Memorial Day means extra savings for you on all furniture, recliners, and mattresses at Davidson's Furniture. This is Mike Davidson, inviting you to shop our store for the best values and lowest prices on name brands and furniture in Western New York. Broyhill, Serta, Bassett, Lazy Boy, and more are all on sale, and I'm offering 2 years no-interest financing with approved credit. That's right, 24-month no-interest financing. Come in and see for yourself the Memorial Day sale going on at Davidson's Furniture, downtown Hornell.
Davidson's Furniture.
Southern Tier Concrete Products Incorporated, a family-owned and operated business since 1946, has been serving masons and the construction industry for 72 years. Builders have found concrete to be the most economical construction material that they use. There are many beautiful structures built on their concrete block products. Located in New York State's Southern Tier Concrete Products manufactures quality, sustainable living products made from local materials. Their products meet the specifications of architects, contractors, masons, and do-it-yourselfers throughout the area and are in great demand. Southern Tier Concrete Products are being used in every type of construction where permanence is important. They also carry circ blocks, great for fire pits, planters, tree rings, landscaping, and all your spring and summer projects. Southern Tier Concrete Products, located at 911 State Route 244 in Alfred. Phone 607-587-9292 for Southern Tier Concrete Products.
Checking in now with the meteorologist, Rob Carolyn. Hey, Rob. Not a bad day out there. It's been a little bit warmer lately, but it sure was a lot colder a few weeks ago.
It was. We've certainly turned the corner, Brian, in regards to the really chilly stuff. And what's helped us is a lot of the snow cover that back in April was lying across much of the northern tier of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and then extensive across southern and central Canada has melted away. So the air can't get quite as cold as it was doing just 30 days ago, plus the day's a lot longer, sun stronger. We're a month away from the summer solstice, so everything kind of leaning in the right direction now. Nice day coming up. Got a lot of sunshine in the forecast. There's some clouds to our south right now. Jamestown almost to Corning. That should remain off to our south, and I think we're mostly sunny. We end up between 70 and 75 today. Sunrise this morning was at 5:42. Sunset this evening at 8:31. We'll have increasing cloudiness tonight, though. Frontal system bringing rain to Wisconsin, Minnesota this morning. All the way down to Texas will track our way. Those showers will start to show up late tonight. We're 50 to 55. Showers tomorrow. There's even the chance of a thunderstorm. Will be 70 to 75. Front goes by tomorrow night. The showers will end. Lows will be 50 to 55. Then high pressure returns on Wednesday. Lots of sunshine, 75 to 80. Should be sunny and pleasant Thursday and Friday as well.
Back with Ian Golden on the Newsmaker show on this Monday, May the 21st. Ian Golden, I'm back on Ithaca.com, and it's I'm reading here from Ithaca.com. This week, Congressman Tom Reid's re-election campaign revived an old campaign-related website, ExtremeIthacaLiberal.com, accompanied by a new campaign video rallying against the congressman's prospective opponents' stances on the Republican-led tax plan, of which Reid was a key player in crafting. And the website, it says here from Ithaca.com, takes its name from a theme first used by the campaign in 2014 when Reid tied the term to Tompkins County legislator Martha Robertson, who was running against Reid at the time. Your thoughts on that phrase, extreme Ithaca liberal?
Yeah, I think Representative Reid was asked about it, I think, after a recent town hall. And just his use of it. You know, here you have somebody who is basically getting a lot of his press off of the being the Problem Solvers Caucus, representing everybody and across the district. And then you have in the back end all the paid ads to this whole idea of the out-of-touch, extreme fraction of our district. And so I think somebody asked about him, and his response was, yeah, it doesn't necessarily line up, but it works. And so we do it because it works. And so he knows that by putting it out there, it galvanizes a certain amount of people. And so that's why he does it. So whatever. I mean, I get it. That's the style of politician he is, and that's what he does. And if that's his thing, you know, whatever. Do it. And my response, and I think, too, in terms of why it's effective, yeah, I mean, if we run certain, I think, candidates that are, I think, out of touch or not resonating with the district, and it makes it very easy to pigeon them into that bracket. And so 3 out of the 5 candidates in the mix right now are from or living in Ithaca, myself, Linda, and Tracy. So, you know, if that's how he wants to go at us, then whatever, that's what he's going to do. But my response is, you know, well, what does that mean, Tom? I mean, am I out of touch because I'm a small business owner? I've been doing all that I can to create jobs in upstate and pay living wages. Am I out of touch because I grew up in rural PA in Amish country, and I'm really concerned about the farming because that kind of was where I come from? Am I out of touch because the plans that you're kicking out there regarding health insurance would treat my wife and my daughter as pre-existing conditions? You know, I think we can go. Am I concerned about the jobs that we're losing in our district, the manufacturers that we're losing? We're a strong union state, and I will stand up for the unions. And you know, so if we're fighting job loss for them going to right-to-work states, and then hearing him go off on a manufacturing pitch and how he's protecting our manufacturers, it just doesn't line up. So I'm excited for the opportunity, I think, go to toe-to-toe with Representative Reid and talk about, I think, who represents D.C. politics and who's really grounded. So I look forward to that opportunity. But in the interim, that's just what he does. So go ahead and keep spinning that and selling that, Tom. That's fine.
Ian Golden did a story on you last month on our website and on the air about how you got a endorsement from Justice Democrats. Tell us about Justice Democrats and the endorsement that you got from them.
Yeah, Justice Democrats, and we'll have an interview here with them, I think, on the 30th. Justice Democrats just spun off of an online media news outlet that was really focused on the 2016 election wave. And it was basically looking at, I think, what a lot of us know, that both major parties have a certain level of corruption, I think, inherent to them, and aren't necessarily working for the good of the individuals. And so I think that they were taking to task even some of the what's going on in the Democratic Party, and saying, there may be amazing pieces of both parties, whether it be Republicans or Democrats, but we really need parties, again, that will fight for the people, and that hasn't been what's happening. So Justice Democrats really want to see Medicare for all, or a single-payer health care platform. They want to see living wages for all individuals. The visitors, or any listeners, rather, could go to justicedemocrats.com and roll through some of their platform pieces. But really what they're all about is they just want to break down, I think, the political corruption that's out there, and really have the parties representing the people.
Yes, Ian, I'm on their Twitter page right now, and one of the tweets says, "This is beyond wicked. It is vulgar. A government agency caught lying to harass immigrants. Sign our petition to tell Congress to abolish ICE." That's the Immigration Customs Enforcement. Wanted to tie that in with a question I was going to ask. Senator Gillibrand wants to crack down on ICE. She says that the same basic kind of thing. I don't think she wants to abolish it, but she does want to. She says there's not enough transparency with immigration custom enforcements, that they don't have to report on a lot of the calls and raids that they make.
Yeah, and I think that you'd want. I would think that everybody would want transparency in that process. I would guess that most of the constituents in my district wouldn't necessarily be on board with ICE being abolished, and I think most people want secure borders, but I think we need to dig a little bit deeper and look at maybe some of the roots of the immigration issue. Is it from international trade agreements, which have gutted various economies worldwide and creates people coming to our nation for job opportunities? Is it political instability? Is it, I think it just takes digging a little bit deeper. I think where we're at, ICE is one part of the equation. Immigration's much larger. We do have a good number of documented as well as undocumented immigrants working across our district, heavier in the ag sectors, and I've spoken with a good number of vineyards and farm owners who have some of the workers there, and they just say, they do all they can and try to get the domestic workforce and non-immigrant workforce, but they just can't get it. They're not there. The individuals that have shown up, well, maybe showed up for a week, and they just kind of won't be back. I mean, the reality is it's hard work. You look at dairies where they're in such a literal crisis at the moment that their hands are pretty tied on their revenue sources. It's a really tough equation. And so I think focusing on the ICE piece of the equation, sure, I mean, that's one part of it, but obviously it's a much larger issue that's pretty complicated at the moment.
We've been talking with Tompkins County Democrat Ian Golden. Ian, down to the last 60 seconds. Any final thoughts?
I'm just stoked for all your listeners out there who are really looking for change. I hear you. Perpetually, most of the country sees Congress as a corrupted body. I think it's got like 15% approval rating. People just want change. They want somebody who's genuine. They want somebody who's going to be transparent, who's going to be an honest alternative. And I'm really doing all I can to bring that to the mix. It's not just to get out there and just declare being a part of the Problem Solvers Caucus. It's actually being on the ground and actually trying to solve some of these problems. And I'm just thankful for the opportunity, Brian, for what you're doing, giving me the opportunity to join you today, and for all the listeners who are really looking for new energy and change. Visit goldenforcongress.com. Help us knock on some doors. and let's connect.
Ian, I want to thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Brian.
And Brian Kilmeade Show next here on AM 1480 WLEA Hornell. Stay with us.